TYT Sports, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, UCLA, USC, Red Sox, Yankees, Giants, Dodgers, Duke, North Carolina, Syracuse, Georgetown, Army, Navy, the big rivalries in sports, and of course, Concordia University and the College of Idaho. Had to check my notes. It's weird that that one doesn't just roll off the tongue. And obviously I'm speaking about women's college basketball, NAIA, women's college basketball. Let's set the scene. The score is tied 61-61. There's less than a second to play in the big game between the College of Idaho and Concordia University. So it's 61-61, and I guess it is Concordia has the ball out of bounds under the College of Idaho's basket. So again, less than a second to play, 0.7 seconds. Let's go to the videotape, as Warner Wolf would say. Danielle Clausen is inbounding the ball. There you see the score, 0.7 seconds. She inbounds it off a College of Idaho player's back, picks it up herself. Here's the replay. It's a bit genius. And I gotta say, it does happen quickly. I find it totally hard to believe, boys, that that could happen in 0.7 seconds, since the clock starts as soon as the ball makes contact with the College of Idaho. But God, it does happen fast, though. You know? Could that happen in 0.7 seconds? I mean, it's not like they can go to the replay and check it like it's an NCAA tournament game.
You know what? I really doubt it. Even watching this does not make me slightly interested in women's basketball. It's unfortunate.
So you think that's the more relevant point?
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, I've been seeing this on ESPN. It's on the top 10, and I'm like, man, no, it's not interesting. Sorry, guys. Nice try.
It's a totally great play, though, man. She's a genius. And how great is it that it worked out? You got to count it anyway.
Yeah. At that point, they have to. At that point, everybody's on the – also, they run the floor, I think, all the students.
What do you mean they run the floor?
Because, I mean, what are they going to do? Take it back after all the students run?
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got to count it. By the way, it was a big win. It made it that put Concordia in next week's NAIA national tournament. Whatever. But again, women's college basketball, by the way, gotten a lot better. Do you watch it at all, ever? But here's the thing about women's college basketball, and now we got a little conversation here, because Connecticut won, I think, 90 straight games before losing this year, and they beat UCLA's winning streak. And there was a lot of different conversations about that. One, should it count as beating UCLA's streak? And if you didn't think that it does that make you a chauvinist? Or are you taking away from Connecticut if you say that it shouldn't be counted? Or are you praising Connecticut by saying that it's just something independent on its own? And I would argue that it's nonsense to compare the two. Total and complete nonsense. And that is totally fair to Connecticut. And it's an amazing accomplishment on its own. And it's silly to compare it, because if you're going to compare it, Connecticut loses out without question. Because Connecticut won a bunch of those games like 117-9, because there just aren't enough good women's teams. They're unbelievable. And man, you watch them play and they're so good, but some of those, there just aren't enough good teams. And even when top 25 teams play in women's college basketball, there's a crazy number of blowouts. You ever look at those scores sometimes, Jesus? No, of course you don't. Dave, you ever look at those scores? No, you guys got other crap to do. But there just aren't. And there's so many good men's teams and better players and more spread out, and winning 88 straight games in men's is just harder. But it doesn't mean that the accomplishment's not significant. You just wouldn't compare it's a random number. It'd be like comparing that the Oakland A's won 20 straight games in 2002 or 2003 or whenever we did it, to the UCLA winning 88 straight games, or the Patriots going, whatever they did, going 18-0 before losing, and comparing that to Connecticut. It's different, man. Connecticut's awesome, and it's different, but you shouldn't compare them. And there's no way that shot took less than a second. But God bless Danielle Clausen, because that's smart, man. And you dream about making those big plays, just like doing one incredibly smart thing, you know? Don't you dream about it when you play baseball? Like, can you make like one really smart play? Or do you just dream about like hitting a home run?
Well, usually it's a home run, but I think playing baseball is more of those little details that you get off. They're the best ones.
Last night we were down like 5 runs in softball, and I was batting at the top of the order, and because we didn't have enough guys, and it was the guy was hitting 10th. There's normally our leadoff hitter, but he got there late, so it went 10-1-2, and we knew that these guys, we had to get on base to set up the big inning. And the number 10 hitter, he gets a base hit to start it off, and then I come up, and I was eager on the first pitch, and I reached for it, and I fouled it off, and I almost missed it. You start with a strike, but I fouled it straight up, and so I'm down 0-2 in the count because you start with a strike. And then I reached for it again. I was thinking the next pitch might be a strike, and I usually go to right field, but I thought I better swing, and I tried to pull it, and I swung and missed in softball, and I struck out. Right?
You struck out in softball.
I struck out in
what
softball.
You're gonna tell me?
Like the 4th time in my whole life, 3rd time.
It's a goddamn shame, dude.
Right. Yeah, okay, you played with us, you struck out.
I doubt it, man. I really doubt it.
You totally struck out. And so you just got that high arc. Whatever, I struck out. The pitch was inside.
You know, it's just not allowed, man. You shouldn't even brought that story up.
So I struck out.
Striking out in softball is not
it's brutal.
something to talk about.
It's brutal.
You should have just taken it to the grave and...
Hang on, it gets better. So I strike out, and then our friend Jeremy, he's like, "You're pulling your head." He's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Look where your feet are." He was right. I was goofy. I was like all over the place. I'm flopping around. I look like a fish on land, right? And then, so he's complaining, and then he swings at the first pitch. He barely makes contact and fouls it off. He barely made less contact than I did. And then he pops up to short. Nothing, barely. And it pops up right by the bag at second. And he doesn't run. I remember we got a guy at first. He hangs his head, and their shortstop, as he's about to catch it, lets it drop. No, because there's only one guy on. There's only one guy on. So he was asking if there's infield fly. So there's one guy on. He lets it drop, picks it up, steps on second, throws to first, double play. Then we all fight with each other about whose fault it was, and the coach didn't say run. I mean, it's obviously Jeremy's fault. Everything falls apart. We're yelling at each other, and I'm thinking, the shortstop. It's like one of those plays you dream about. Genius. Genius. Anyway, then the next inning, they scored 11 runs, and I think we lost 24-9. There you go. Great story.